Okay, we're going to start working on something called top 5 salaries. To do this, though, we need to take your average salary assignment and make a copy of this file. So to do this, you're going to right-click on it and go to Copy. And then somewhere, preferably in the white space, right-click and paste. And now that you've done that, you can see that you have two of the same file, but one of them says the word copy. Next, we're going to rename this file. So you're going to right-click, rename. Let's get rid of copy. You can actually keep the word salary, sort of. And we're going to write top 5, and then you have salary, but we're going to get rid of the Y and write IES because it's plural, there's more than one. So let's take a moment to do that. Okay, so next we're going to double click on the file to open it up. And we're going to kind of get rid of some information here and some of the coloring. So first I'm going to highlight everything. And under the paint bucket tool, I'm going to say no fill. And I'm going to go ahead and leave the borders. You can get rid of them if you want. I just decided to get rid of all the coloring for now. And I'm also going to take this information right here and I'm going to make it disappear. Now I'm going to highlight both of them. And above my arrow keys on my keyboard is a delete key. And that's the one you're going to want to use. And we're going to delete both of those right there. Go ahead and take a moment to do this. Okay, so we need to figure out who our top 5 salaried players are. Well, we got some good news. You can see that there's a couple players that are 9 million and they're already at the top. So we have Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and they're at the top and they're getting paid $9 million and some change here. But you can also see there's some high paid players down here, like John Stockton's getting $6 million and Oscar Robertson's getting close to $8 million, and so are these players right here. And then we have some players that are lower than these players right here. So we need to find a way to get these players up here. Well, Microsoft Excel has this great tool called Sort. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and highlight all this information, including the words first name, last name, position, height, weight, uniform number, and salary. I'm going to highlight it all. And you're probably on the Home tab right now, and you need to get to Data. Now when you get to Data, there's this button here called Sort, and I'm going to select it. Now over here it says Sort Column, Sort By. Now a column goes up and down. This is a column, this is a column, this is a column, and so forth. And the column that we're interested in is the salary column. So what we're going to do is drop down right here and go to the word salary. And if it's not showing up as salary right here, you need to go to column I, which is where salary is. But usually the word salary will show up. And then it says, what order do you want it? Smallest to largest? We actually do not want that order. So we're going to drop down here and go largest to smallest. And when I hit OK, my top 5 players are now right here at the top in order. I mean, isn't that great? And so earlier we talked about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Oscar Robertson, and now they are all right there at the top. So I want you to sort that data and get them top 5 players at the top right there. Now for this particular Excel file, we are only interested in the top 5 players. Everything else can go away. So that's what we're going to do. So starting with John Stockton, we're going to delete all this information here. Now we're going to actually delete the entire row. So let me show you how to do that. There's 2 ways to delete. First, I could highlight all this and I can hit the delete button above my arrow keys, but I did not delete the entire row. And I know that because I can still see my grid lines. What I want you to do is actually go over here. You notice I get a little black arrow, and I want you to click and pull down on these numbers over here. Then you can right click on any of them. I'm going to right click right here and say delete right here. Now when you hit delete right here, it actually deletes the entire row. And all of that information is gone, including the empty cells and the cells that had a black border around it. Go ahead and take a moment to do that. Finally, we want to put in some sort of graph, like a pie chart, to show who's making what amount of money, and we're going to have that pie chart show up right here. So here's what you're going to do. First, we're going to go to Insert, and you can see you have all these charts over here that you could insert, and the one we're going to be interested in is the pie chart. But before we click on that, we need to do something. We need to, well, let me show you what happens if you click on the pie chart by highlighting all this information right here. And I go to pie chart, and I'm just going to pick the simple one. See, it tells me his height and his weight. That's not the information that we want. We want the information that shows the how much money they're making. So it'll have their name and how much money they're making. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. And I'm going to show you how to select their first and last name and this information right here, their salary, at the same time. First, I'm going to highlight these, and then I'm going to hold down the Control key and highlight this over here. And you see, we did not get any of this information in here. So we got first, last name, and salary, and now we can go to Insert, Charts, and I'm going to select this one right here. And then when they look pretty even, because you can see these numbers are fairly even, they're not too far apart, then you know you have the right kind of pie chart. In a minute, we're going to edit it some more, but go ahead and get that in there. Okay, so I want you to know a couple things. First of all, we have these different kinds of charts up here that you can take a look at. And the one that we're going to need to get is something that has numbers on the inside here. They're still not the right kind of numbers, but at least it has the numbers in here. So I'm going to go with this one. It looks like there's another one here that I could pick. So I'm going to go with this one real quick. And we don't want to know the percentage that they're making. We want to know the amount of money that they're making per year. So I'm going to click on this one. Excuse me, double click. And you can see it shows me 9,900,000. So I'm going to select that one. And I'm going to do that one here. And I'm going to double click here. Seems like I got to triple click sometimes. So I double click and then I wait and then I double click again. And we need to get those values in there. And I'm having trouble with that one. I don't think there's enough room. So I'm going to move it around a little bit. There we go. And then we're going to need to get those values in there. Go for it. Okay, so we're going to put some final touches on this. First of all, we need to have a title up here because we really don't know what this information means until it has a title, or somebody else reading it wouldn't know what it means. So I'm going to change this right here, and I'm going to write top 5 salaries, so you know who your top 5 salaried players are. Okay, and then we are done with this chart, and it looks pretty good. I personally feel like moving these around a little bit more if I can grab them. They're being a little touchy, so I'm gonna have to play around. There it goes. Move this one over, and then I want to move that one over because they're such large numbers. I noticed that you gotta, like, if you click on one, they all get selected, but then if you click on it again, only that one gets selected, and then you can move just that one. Okay, and I think that looks a lot better. The other thing we're gonna do is we are going to get some of our coloring back. And so I could take this. I'm actually going to do something cool here. I'm going to change this to a real dark black and then take my font color and change it to white. I like that look. And then I think I'll take their first and last name and make that a certain color. Take their other information here, make that a certain color. And I can do that so on and so forth. Let's go with like a light blue here. Go with a grayish. And there you go. I think that looks a lot better, looks cool. And again, we just have it where we have this awesome chart here showing us how much money each player made. Good job. And when you're finished with all this, you can turn it in. Oh, one more thing. I think I would take this and I would actually move it over so it has a better positioning on here as well. Okay, let's get her done.